Good day, everyone. So before we proceed, Mr. Paredes, can you lead us the prayer? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Paredes. So good morning, everyone. I am Farhana Taha Panansalan, Group 4 presenter. So I have a few questions for you to answer, kids. Yeah, students. So what do you think? Why is it important to choose a appropriate or right instructional materials? Anyone? Yeah, that's correct. Correct. It must be accurate. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so now, what do you think is our lesson for today or our topic for today? Yes, Miss Rana? Yeah, that's correct. Characteristics of appropriate instructional materials. So, our objective in the lessons, students will be able to define appropriate instructional materials. Number two, discuss key factors to consider when selecting appropriate instructional materials. And the third one, or the last one, is the evaluate examples of instructional materials. Instructional materials are those that meet the needs of the students and align with the course objectives. They can include textbooks, videos, graphs, and other materials. So, in other words, these are the things that can help students to easily learn their lessons and achieve the goals of their studies. So, under these instructional materials, we have a 7 consideration to choose a right instructional materials. So, first one is the audience. So, audience, yes, audience, whether the material is at the right reading level and style for the students. So, to make sure na right yung instructional materials na magagamit natin sa pagtuturo or sa lesson natin, we must make sure that the material is appropriate for the students. For example, knowing na we are a elementary educator, so mga bata yung tinuturuan natin. So, if we're going to present a PowerPoint presentation, we must consider the big letters, right? Para ma-avoid yung distraction sa mga bata. Kasi knowing na yung mga bata is madaling ma-distract. So, kailangan palakihin natin yung ipapresent natin sa PowerPoint presentation natin. That is the number 1 consideration, the audience. So, number 2 is the content. Content, whether the material covers the topics needed for the course. So, yes, the material should cover the topics you want to teach or we want to teach. If you're going math, for example, dapat yung examples ng math, yung mga body ng math, ang ituturo natin. So, the next one is sequencing. Okay? The sequencing, whether the material space and sequence matches the course. So, the material should go in the right order. Hindi tayo pwedeng magturo na something too advanced or too early. It should build up step by step in a way that's easy for the students or for the learners to follow. Para ma-avoid yung pagkakalito ng mga bata. That's right? Yeah. So, third one is the learning styles. Learning styles, whether the material presents information in multiple ways such as using text, video, and images. So, learning styles, knowing that a lot of students nowadays is nakaka-learn in a different learning styles, we must consider a material that we can use in different kind of learning styles. Yung iba kasing mga students, mas nakaka-learn sila ng much better through watching videos. Yung iba naman nakaka-learn sila ng mas madali through reading textbooks. Yung iba, mas napapadali pag-learn nila through looking at the pictures. So we need a material that offers a different types of content so that we can help everyone to learn. The fifth one is the accuracy. So accuracy, whether the material is up to date and accurate. Yes, we must consider this because it is important for us and for the students na yung maituturo natin sa kanila is accurate na information. We must avoid the fake info and fake infos, yung fake news. Kasi kung mali ang ituturo natin sa mga bata, madadala na nila yon hanggang sa tumanda sila. No, hanggang sa tumanda sila. Yun lang yung parang panghahawakan nila na like, no, kasi ito yung tinuro ng teacher sa amin. Ito yung tama. Kasi minsan, mas pinapaniwalaan na tayo ng mga bata, ng mga students natin kaysa sa mga magulang, right? Kapag may tinuturo si teacher na ganito, tapos kung mali yun, so mali rin yung info na makukuha ng mga bata, ng mga students natin. So we must consider the accurate and the accuracy sa ating when choosing a right instructional materials. The sixth one is the engagement. So engagement, whether the material is interactive or engaging to keep students motivated. So, knowing na yung mga students natin is mga bata, so ang mga bata, madali silang maboard. So, we must avoid the boredom of the child or of our students para makapag-focus sila sa ating lesson. So, think a strategy na magagamit para ma-entertain sila, makakapag-focus, and also ma-engage sa ating lesson. So, for example, a strategy na gumawa ka ng games. Magpa-games ka na related naman sa ating topic. Sa topic na ituturo mo. So that ma-avoid na natin yung boredom ng mga bata, makakapag-engage pa sila and makakapag-interact pa sila sa mga classmates nila. So that is the sixth consideration when choosing a instructional materials. The seventh or the last one is the accessibility. So accessibility, whether the material is accessible to all learners. So we must consider a material na makaka-access yung lahat ng mga students with or without disabilities. Kasi may mga students kasi na may hearing impairment, may vision impairment. Nowadays kasi puro technology, so that naaapektuhan yung vision ng mga bata. And to avoid that kind of situation, we must consider a materials that makaka-access lahat ng mga students natin with or without disabilities. For example, kapag magpo-present tayo ng video or videos, we must put a subtitle so that yung may hearing impairment, mababasa rin nila yung tinutukoy sa video. Kasi may subtitle tayo. Okay? That's the last consideration when choosing a right or a appropriate instructional material. So, other than that, examples of instructional materials are textbooks, handouts, worksheets, educational games, charts and graphs, and the last one is The last one is the real world example. So in short, instructional material should be clear, relevant, and accessible for all students to ensure they can learn effectively. That's all, and thank you.
So, good morning everyone. I am Chi Espanesa and this is the continuation of the work of Miss Farhana, and we're talking about characteristics of appropriate instructional materials. So, first, alignment with objectives. Name is Prakash Kanuri. Instructional materials must directly support the moving learning goals. So, the material should directly contribute to student achievement of the objectives. So, example, if the objectives is for the student to understand the photosynthesis, the material should explain the process of photosynthesis, not just describing the plants. Next. Clarity. Miss Morales.
Clarity. Material should be easy to understand and free from ambiguity.
So, the language should be appropriate for audience age and reading level. Complex concept should be explained simply and clearly. For example, sa science experiment, explanation should be simple language and avoid jargon and include clear diagrams. Next, relevance. Relevance. Material should connect to student prior knowledge and experience, making learning meaningful and engaging. So, the material should connect to student lives and experience, making learning meaningful and engaging. For example, connecting math lesson to percentage to real-world examples like calculating discount or sales tax to make it more relevant. So, using current event to illustrate lesson increase relevance. Next, well-organized structure. Dato?
Well-organized structure. Material should have a logical structure with clear headings, subheadings, and a consistent flow of information.
So, easy navigation is important, especially for longer materials. So, example, textbook chapter with clear headings, subheadings, and summaries at the end of each section is dapat well organized.
Yes.
So, next, SQs. Miss Ulao?
Material should be accessible and user-friendly.
So, easy to use considered factors like font, size, layout, accessibility feature. The material should be easy to use regardless of the student learning styles or technological proficiency. So, example, a website with clear navigation, large font, and alt text for image is easy to use. Then worksheets with clear instructions
technical compatibility, compatible with various devices and platforms.
Yes. And that's what video.
So good morning everyone. So our topic for today is digital learning resources. And by the way, I am Angela Light Casio. So digital learning resources, producing learning resources using technology tools is essential creating creating educational materials with the help of various digital tools. It's about leveraging technology to make learning more engaging, accessible, and effective. So yung digital learning resources, it is important because they can be accessed anytime, anywhere, with an internet connection, breaking down geographical barriers to education. This is particularly crucial for students in remote areas or those with limited mobility. So it is also affordable because as we all know, some resources may require purchases, but in digital LR, we have free and open educational resources available online. It can also help engagement, personalization, flexibility, and more. So we have types of digital learning resources using application software. So first is educational application. Mobile applications cater to specific learning needs from language learning to math practices to coding skills. So we have here pictures, examples of application that can be used in educational application. So first is the Google Classroom. It enhances communication and collaboration. Pwede ka mag-encode ng mga announcements, reminders, and feedback na instant ma-deliver sa mga students. And the student can easily ask questions and seek clarification. It also reduces the need of paper, saving school money on printing costs, and promotes environmental sustainability. So next is yung Khan Academy. So ang Khan Academy offers substantial educational benefits through its diverse papers and accessibility. Nagpo-provide ito ng library, ng mga videos, mga lessons, exercises, and yung Khan Academy, it is really effective in terms of learning. Learning online, it contains basic arithmetic, advanced calculus, biology, chemistry, economics, history, and more. So next is yung Photomath. Photomath assists education by providing a unique approach to solving and understanding mathematical equation. So ang use ng Photomath is yung mag-picture ka ng mga problems or yung mga equations sa equation mo, and then after nyan, pag na-picture mo na siya, yung Photomath ang ibigay na solving kung paano siya solve step by step. So next is yung OWL. Significantly enhances education by making learning more engaging and interactive. It transforms quizzes and learning activities into game-like experience. Motivates students to improve in knowledge, attentions, foster healthy competition. Next is yung Padlet. Digital platform that significantly enhances educational by providing a dynamic and versatile space for communication, collaboration, and content sharing. It functions like a virtual notice board, but with a part of capabilities, facilitates seamless communication between sa teachers and students, and even sa kapwa students itself. So next is e-books and digital textbooks. This offers a convenient and accessible way to access learning materials, often with features like highlighting, note-taking, editing, and search functionality. So dito naman is education by providing a user-friendly platform. Kagaya sa Canva, it creates engaging and visually appealing educational materials. So you can use PowerPoints, empowers educators to design visually rich resources such as lesson plans, presentations, and worksheets. Next is yung
Next is Adobe App. Adobe App offers audiobooks and podcasts enhancing educational in several ways. First, accessibility. It provides access to a vast variety of educational content, including textbooks, mga lectures, and non-fictional titles for students with diverse learning styles and or disabilities. Next naman is material siya ng engagement. Audible can make learning more engaging, particularly for auditory learners. Next is ang podcast and audiobooks. This offers a convenient way to learn on the go, especially for topics like history, literature, and language learning. So first is yung Audible app. Audible app offers audiobooks and podcasts enhancing educational in several ways. Okay. So marami siyang benefit sa learning kasi yung Audible nag-help siya sa mga students na mas prefer nila yung learning in hearing. So next is Story Nories educational value. So it provides audio stories for children, beneficial for language development, improves listening comprehension and vocabulary, narrative skills, enhances understanding of storytelling techniques, and different literary styles, cultural awareness, exposes children to stories from various cultures and traditions. So yun yung mga benefit ng story memories sa mga bata. Next is in Spotify. Spotify, primarily known for music, also offers educational resources. Example, mga podcast, mga educational, provides access to educational podcasts covering various subjects, enhancing learning via traditional method. Next is educational games. This combine learning with entertainment and making the process more engaging and motivating, especially for younger learners. So ito naman, it helps to provide a fun and engaging way for students to learn, develop essential skills, and foster love for learning. Yung benefits ng mga educational games, magkaroon siya ng personalized learning, improve cognitive skills, enhance collaboration, and more. Yung mga educational games, nag-offer siya ng numerous benefits for students and sa lahat ng mga ages. They can make learning more engaging, effective, and enjoyable. So to review our lesson for today, I'm going to ask some questions, and please raise your hand if you have an answer. So first question is, it encompasses a wide array of electronic tools and materials including interactive websites, learning apps, online videos, e-books, and gamified learning tools, all designed to enhance the learning experience. Yes, we have.
Digital learning resources.
Yes, it's correct. Number 2, mobile education cater to specific learning needs from language learning to math practices and skills. Daliaba?
Educational application.
Yes, very good. Next is number 3, this combines learning with entertainment, making the process
First, planning. Define objectives. Know your audience.
So, planning. Before creating anything, you must decide what your learners want to achieve or to learn. So, understand who your audience, including their age, background, and needs, to design appropriate content for them. For example, if you are making a tutorial for high school students about basic algebra, your objectives will be the students will be able to solve simple linear equation. So next, number 2, Ms. Tiliaba.
Choosing tools, match tools to content.
So select tools that fit the type of material you are creating. For example, use video editors for visual lessons or authoring tools for interactive quizzes. So the right tools can make creations easier and improve the quality of final production. So next, number 3, Ms. Isaba.
Design and creation. Add multimedia visual.
So start building your learning resource by combining text, images, audio, and video. Visuals make learning more interesting and help explain difficult concepts. So, for example, you create an animation with slide with Canva. Visual shows each steps of solving about equations. So the visual showing steps about solving an equation. So next, number 4, Miss Instoes.
Testing and review. Get feedback device.
Test your resource with a small group of learners or peers. Collect their feedback to spot any problems like confusing instructions or technical issues. So make necessary revisions to improve it. For example, you share your draft video with a few students and teachers. So the feedback will be the explanation in step 3 was too fast. So you need to make a revision. So you slow down the narration and add subtitles about the step 3 that your student hindi niya makakuha. So number 5, Miss Ilaw. Number 5, Miss Ilaw.
Distribution. Share via LMS or online platforms.
So after finalizing, publish your resource on platforms like Learning Management System or the LMS, and YouTube or educational websites. Make sure it's easy for learners to access. So the next is the sample workflow creating educational video. So the tool you can use this, for example, is the Canva, OBS Audios. Canva for visuals and OBS Studio for recording. So the steps are, number 1, Mr. Abdal.
First is plan, content, and script.
So, plan content in script. So write down exactly what you want to say and show. A script helps keep the video clear, organized, and professional. For example, is write a script to how to solve a simple linear equation like 2x plus 3 equals 7. Sorry. Number 2 is Miss Tutafo, please read number 2. So design visuals. Create graphics, slides, or charts using design tools like Canva. So good visuals can help explain ideas better than words alone. So number 3, Mr. Ubiag.
Record duration plus screen.
So using the OBS Studio, record your voice and your screen at the same time. So speak learning, pace your narration to match the visual. So can someone please tell me if they know an app that
CapCut po.
CapCut. So yes, very good. So number 4, please, Miss Morales,
Edit using video editor. Samsung CapCut.
so print space, add titles, subtitles, music or effects to polish the video. Keep it clean and not too crowded. So, familiar naman siguro kami sa CapCut, di ba? Always natin ito ginagamit mag-edit ng ating mga videos or even our other requirements that we pass in our culture like story making,
Yes,
like
yes.
that, right? Yes, ma'am. So number 5, Miss Panada, export and upload video for LMS. So save your final video in a good format like MP4 and upload it to your learning platform or video sharing site. Make sure it's easy to students to find and watch. So after ma-save ang na-edit mo na video, so you need to you need to upload it para doon na lang makita ng mga students mo at doon na lang nila mapanood ang video learning na ginawa mo. So best practices. Someone please, Miss Toas. So keep it interactive and engaging. Ask questions, includes activities or quizzes. So para maging engaging ang lessons mo or ang yung presentation, magpag-games ka or ask ka ng questions sa students mo para ma-engage sila sa lessons mo. So, second, use simple, clear language. So, avoid jargon, be understandable to all learners. So, you should use some language na lahat ng students mo makaintindi. Like, sa atin, sa classroom na to, we use language like Filipino and English because yan ang mga language na maintindihan ng mga students natin. So, third is add captions and accessibility features. So, help people with hearing impairments or those who prefer reading. So, para mas maintindihan ng mga students natin ang video lesson na ating ginawa, we should add captions para if ever hindi nila marinig ang audio, pwede nilang mabasa through subtitles or captions. So next, use visuals to reinforce learning. So diagrams, pictures, and videos help memory and understanding. So pwede tayong attach ng mga video o pictures para makita nila kung ano ang actual image at kung paano gawin ang isang bagay na nasa lessons mo. So last is keep resources up to date. So update all materials so they stay relevant. So we use an app, so we must stay update the app. So lahat ng mga pwede natin magamit ay ang mga updated na magamit sa isang apps ay pwede natin magamit. So kailangan natin i-update. So for our activity, I will ask a question. So as a future educator, why do we need to keep our lessons engaging and interactive? So Mr. Abdal.
As a future educator, we have to keep our class more engaging and interactive for us to assess our students that they have learned what we are discussing to them. And also, we have to consider our lesson more interactive para hindi sila mabagot, and also you as a teacher, you have to compasses your lesson before you discuss it.
Okay, thank